Hi, it's Kim with Delicata House, and I'm here with another episode of Steps to Seasonal Wellness. We've been talking about wellness as related to the fall or the transitional time that we're going through with like summer ending and cooler weather coming in and kids going back to school and parents going back to work and we talked about morning routines, and last week we talked about attentiveness and mindfulness. And this week I want to talk about some helps for anxiety. And I want to start with a story which is super recent. We were getting ready to go to a music gig that we were performing at, and I happened to rifle through the mail. I don't know why, right before I had to go, but I did. And I saw that I had a letter from the U.S. District Court. And you know what that means? It means jury duty. And like, oh no. And I knew I didn't have time, right then to really look through it. So I put it aside and looked at it later in the evening when we came back. And of course I'm freaking out because it says like you're being asked to serve for at least a year. And it's an hour and a half away, and I'm thinking, how am I ever going to keep my business afloat? Like doing all this driving, and giving up days of work. It's crazy enough as it is, and So of course I'm like, my chest was tight, and I was having trouble breathing, and I was just freaking out, And to be honest, it's been like a few days of that. But I filled out the online questionnaire and sent it in. There was like a valid excuse for, if you have a business and it would cease to exist. So I'm hoping they're going to be compassionate and let me off the hook. But I won't know for 3 more weeks. So I have the choice to either, continue to live each moment in panic and dread and fear and worry. Or I can find ways to think and act differently with positivity and joy and courage. Gretchen Rubin, she wrote The Happiness Project and a few other books. Better Than Before, I think, is one of them. She has a saying that I love. It's called, it says, act the way you want to feel. And it's different than fake it till you make it, because it's taking what you have at the moment and generating something different. Kind of like Brendon Burchard talks about a power plant and how, it takes one kind of energy and turns it into something else. And we might wake up feeling anxious or feeling gloomy or feeling sad or whatever. And I've done this before. You can go the whole day just going with those feelings, right? And just letting them take you wherever they go. Or you can decide, this is not the day I want to have. I want to have a day that is full of joy and that is cheerful and that is thinking positive things. And so you'll do whatever you need to do, do some yoga, do some jumping jacks, go outside for a walk, watch some, something funny. Just say some positive things out loud. And, watch your day start to shift because you're acting, you're deciding. And that's the thing, we're making a decision, right? You can either decide, I'm going to be anxious all day. It's just, you don't think about that. You just kind of go with it. That's still a decision. Just like I'm going to decide I'm not going to be anxious today, or I'm not going to let my anxiety rule. Like it still might be there. Like it's hard as an anxious person, if you're at one too, to be completely at peace. I sometimes get there. I'm sure I'm there when I'm sleeping, and I'm there when I'm meditating, or sometimes during yoga. But most of the time there's still this little, in the background. But I can choose to let that take over my life or not. And so, for me, I have a choice now for the next 3 weeks. Every day, or sometimes probably multiple times a day, I will have to act the way I want to feel instead of just going with my anxiety. And if you're already an anxious person like I am, that the fall, at least for me, the fall tends to be a time where it's like, I don't know why. I'm like, nothing even happened. And I'm like all freaking out, I feel like that, And so I have to do kind of double time to work on de-escalating whatever the panic mode is, whatever that, that is on the inside, to calm myself down. So today I wanted to give you a list of some things. This is not an exhaustive list. You can find more ideas. You may have your own, and I'd love to hear about them. If you have things that work for you for anxiety, things that help you. And if you go to a therapist, great. If you are on medication for anxiety, totally fine. At this stage in my life, I'm trying to avoid pharmaceuticals, but I'm not speaking negatively toward anybody. That's just where I'm at. So I'm working on things that I can do, myself. But I'm not ruling out meds if I need them at some point. You never know. So that's always something that I leave on the table as a possibility. So these are some of the things learned from Ayurveda school, from aromatherapy, from just everyday life, from my HSP, my highly sensitive person class I'm taking. So these are some of the things. Get up before sunrise or as close to sunrise as you can. There's just like a lot of light, positive energy at that time of day. So if you get up then, rather than just waiting like till whenever you get up, I mean, of course, it depends on your schedule. You probably have to be retired to just get up whenever you want, unless it's a weekend. Practice meditation and pray, whatever your spiritual practice is. But meditation doesn't have to be spiritual. It's just a mind thing. And it's just closing your eyes and breathing and focusing on your breath. You can do it for 2 minutes. You can do it for 10, 20. And I'm in my 3rd month of it. I'm a beginner, total beginner, but I've had some really amazing experiences of calm doing meditation. So I encourage you to get going. If you're an anxious person, you need to be meditating. You don't have to believe in anything. Just start meditating. You can find guided meditations online for free. You can sign up for them, whatever, but get going on it and find what works for you and do it. There are apps. So yeah. Journal and write your manifestations. So manifestations are you're thinking about your future, like what things you want, and you start kind of calling things that are not as if they were. That's like a biblical thing, but it's it's a universal thing. So write things down that you want in your life as if they've already happened. So write them in the present. And you can listen to Rachel Hollis talk about her practice of doing this and how it's changed her life. You can go to my blog, lifeofkim.com, look at today's post, and you'll see the link to her podcast episode. Visualize how you want your day to go. That's another big one. So go through the day and all the things you know about and any glitches that you know of that might come up, and think about how you're going to handle them. Brendon Burchard, in his high performance planner, he talks about this too. And what would your highest self do? What would your best self do in this situation? So if you know of some things that are going to be a little bit challenging for you or a lot challenging, walk yourself through them mentally, how you're going to deal with it. Develop a daily yoga practice. It could be 5 minutes or 90 minutes, but get yourself on the mat. And if you have tried yoga and didn't like it, maybe it was too advanced for you, but it's okay to be a beginner. There's no competition in yoga. You're not trying to be better than the next person. The only competition is maybe being better than you were yesterday. But the thing is, there's really not even a competition there, because one day you might wake up and have a lot more flexibility than another. You just have to work with your body. You're not really trying to get anywhere other than more connected to yourself, your mind and body connected. And it just happens when you're on the mat. It happens automatically. So give it a try. There's a lot of gentle forms of yoga. There are a lot of modification. You can use blocks and straps like I do if you're not very flexible, to modify. And there are all kinds of teachers. There's people online that are great. I do a lot of yoga from yogaglow.com. It's glow.com now, I think. And but you can take lots of live classes in your area, I'm sure. Drink herbal tea or a coffee substitute. And I'm talking fast enough as it is. And I had 1 cup of coffee, 3/4 decaf this morning. And obviously that was a no-no. I should have had complete decaf or no calf. And I've been working on that for several years, kind of weaning myself off, and I'm down to 1 cup a day, and I'm almost to complete decaf. And then at night, I drink herbal tea during the day. I don't love herbal tea, but I drink it because it's good for me and it does help calm me down. But I recently found a coffee substitute. It's also herbal tea, but it has like this richness and depth. It's like coffee, and it's by Ticino. It's a dandelion, like a roasted dandelion coconut coffee substitute. So you can go to my website or my blog, lifeofkim.com, and you can look at today's post. I have a link to that Ticino, or just look it up at your local grocery store or health food store. Go for a walk outside, and when you go out, you feel refreshed and you feel more just invigorated and more like yourself, more grounded. Eat lots of plants. Your whole body will just work better if you'll have lots less inflammation, and your skin will look better, and you will feel better if you are eating a lot of whole green foods and all the colors of the rainbow. So if you're not a plant lover, now is the time to start. There are so many recipes online. There's so many people to inspire you, bloggers and things on Pinterest. And I have some recipes on my blog you can check out too. So eat plants, lots of them. Have a gratitude practice. This is something that everybody knows about, but it's important. You can do it in the morning or at night. Keep a positives journal. This is new to me, but in my HSP class, she said that sensitive people or anxious people a lot of times focus on the negative, and we need to be focusing on positive. And like every time you have a negative experience or think a negative thought, you need to think of 5 positives just to kind of get yourself back to a neutral spot. So have a beautiful journal. She recommended get a journal that you love, that you just love to open it and touch it and look at it, and fill it up with positive things that happen to you, positive things you read about, positive things you hear about, positive things that, whatever the experiences or with other people, and write them down. And then you can go back and look at those whenever you're feeling like, oh, nothing good ever happens to me, oh, the world's gonna, fall and the sky is falling, and you can look those over. Read poetry. And of course I'm going to push poetry because I love it. And if you're not a poetry lover, that's okay. But now is a good time to begin. Start with children's poetry. Start with poetry that makes you laugh and that is just very playful and fun. You don't have to read some boring old long thing that goes on for page after page after page and it's dry and it's 400 years old. You don't have to do that. That's okay. You don't have to love all poetry. But Mary Oliver, I will push on anyone because her stuff is simple and it's a lot about nature and about like who you are on the inside and like what's really important in life. And it'll speak to you. I'm sure it will, because it speaks to me and it speaks to so many people. And so if you haven't ever read anything by Mary Oliver, she is a great poet to start with. David White is another favorite of mine, John O'Donohue. You can look on my blog. I have evening poetry every day of the week at 5 o'clock. I just post a poem every day, so I'm sure you can find some poets that you like there. Get a massage whenever you can. If you can afford it, I'd say get one every week. If you can't afford it, get one whenever you can. Or barter with somebody that that's a massage therapist maybe. And do self-massage every day. This is an Ayurvedic practice, but it helps you to connect with yourself, and it's very relaxing. And then at nighttime, I like to massage the bottoms of my feet right before bed. Just take a little sesame oil, put a drop or two of lavender in it, and then rub the soles of your feet. It will so relax you, and I would love to hear if you've never tried it to try it, because you will sleep better for sure. I definitely do whenever I do it. Practice positivity, and by this I mean like your thoughts and your words. And if you tend to be an anxious person, well, it's all negative stuff. That's why we're upset, right? That's why we're and so if you can start to counter that with some positive things, saying positive things, doing positive things, thinking about positive things, that will change your outlook. It will definitely calm you down. So this verse, Philippians 4:8, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, if anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. And I think this is like, it's in the Bible, it's Philippians 4:8, but I think it's universal, because, you know, we all need to think higher, right? And think more positively and in a more expansive way than we do. So this is just calling us to that. Spend time processing your day. If you're anxious or a sensitive person, take time to go through, think about, you know, what's going on that day, and journal about it. You know, just kind of work through it. Don't just like keep it for some future time, because after a while you just feel awful. At least I do. I need to kind of, you know, think through things and take time for yourself. My HSP teacher said 2 hours a day for a highly sensitive person. That's a good amount of time to read, to journal, to practice your instrument. Don't be on your phone scrolling. That's not part of the time. Take a day off a week. This may seem totally impossible to you, and for the most part, it's been totally impossible for me, but I have done it a few times in the last few months, and it feels so good. I feel so much better when I do, and the rest of my week goes well. So it's something I'm working on. We all need time off. We need time to just rest and recuperate and do fun recreational things. And so if you can't do a whole day right now, maybe start with a half and work up. But taking a whole day off will calm you down. You will be more rested and relaxed in general if you do take that time for yourself. And then last of all, because I'm an aromatherapist, I'm going to push aromatherapy on you. Yes. If you have a diffuser, use it. By all means, put some calming aroma, essential oils in there, like lavender or cypress or black spruce, mandarin, chamomile, and use it by your desk at work. If you can't do that, then use it at home when you're reading, or at night when you're journaling, or at bedtime for an hour or two. It will affect your everything, your mind, your emotions, your body. It will completely calm you, and I believe wholeheartedly in it. And it's scientific. It's not just, weird stuff. So, and then here's a diffuser blend that you can use. So this is the last bit here. 1 drop of vetiver, 2 drops of black spruce, 2 drops of red mandarin, and 3 drops of lavender. Those are all calming oils that you can blend together, put in your diffuser. And I will put this recipe, it's on my blog, lifeofkim.com. And it's also, I'll post it here on Facebook on the page. You can find it on Instagram as well. And I would love to hear about what how your fall is going, and how your wellness journey is going this fall, what things are working, what things you are struggling with. And please feel free to DM me or write me at delicatahouse@gmail.com and tell me the kinds of things that you'd like to learn about, because I'd love to hear from you and to know what kind of things that you're interested in. So I hope you have a great rest of the day, and I will see you here next week. Bye.